Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to create carousel posts right in Canva. Now, there are a lot of trending designs going on right now, and I'm absolutely in love with these designs in Instagram specifically. And today we're going to be learning about it. But as I would always say, we have to get inspiration first. So I'm not going to teach you to start from scratch because I usually don't do that. And we already know that getting inspiration for your design is one of the key things, right? So I went to the streets of Instagram and I took screenshots of one of my favorite carousels, one from the global Timmy. She's doing an amazing job, right, in representing our brand globally. And the second person I took from is Teresa Notes, right? And I'm absolutely in love with how she represents her brand as well. So as you can see, these particular designs feel different because these people are different, and that's what branding does. It makes you stand out in your own way. So we're going to be learning how to design for a plain background and also for the background where it looks like this. So we're going to be doing it together. I especially brought this in because it's kind of tricky to get this kind of design, but we're going to be doing it together, so you have nothing to worry about. So with that said, let's get into it. So this particular size I'm using is 1080 by 1350. That is 4x5 for Instagram, not 4x4. So if you want to use this, or you want to use the 4x4, which is 1080 by 1080 pixels, then it's fine as well. But that is what I'm using for this particular lesson. So let me add the page and let's get started. I'm excited. I hope you are as well. Okay, so we have a black canvas. How do we turn this into something really, really nice? First of all, we need an image. Obviously, we know we need content, and then we need colors and a specific font that we want to use. So we have all this ready, and I'm going to get straight into it. So under my uploads, I'm going to be bringing in this beautiful lady. And for this, I'm going to be removing the background. So if you don't have a Canva Pro account, head over to remove.pg and remove your image there and export it here. So I'm going to click on the remove background, and this is what we have. Right, so the next thing I'm going to be bringing in is my text. So what do I want it to say? I'm going to be using the heading, and once I bring that in, I would type in what I want. So hypothetically, this lady is a writer and she has been off social media for a while. This is the backstory. Right, so she has been off social media for a while and she wants to tell her audience why she started writing again. Please note that this is not true. It was just something I came up with in my head to make it interesting. So let's say she's trying to tell social media why she started writing again. So let's say the reason I started writing again okay, so that is the headline, as we know. And if you notice, the spacing between this heading is too much, so we're going to go over to the spacing and we want to adjust the line spacing. That is the spacing between two lines, right? We want to make it tighter to make sure that it looks really, really good. So then we come here and we adjust it just like this. So we have our heading, and then we need something more, something catchy. So in my head, what came to my head was the real truth. So something that captures people's attention. So that will be the subheading, but instead of being below, I want it above. So the real truth. Okay, so yeah, we have this, and then obviously we need a handle for this to work. So let's say her name is at Williams Grace. So yeah, we have a handle, we have this, so we have all the little things that we need for our design. Now it comes to the layout. How do we want it to be arranged? As you can see, I've managed to follow a certain pattern when I started arranging it, right? And this is because I want it to be center aligned. If I wanted it to be aligned to the left or the right, I will come here and fix the alignment, but I want it in the center all through, because that is the inspiration we got, right? So now that we have that, we want to make it really creative. So we want our font to be playful, kind of. So we'll come over here to change the font, and the font I want us to use is Abstracted Dream. Yes, that's the name of the font on Canva. I like the way it's laid out, so that's what we're going to be using, but you can use whatever font you want for yours. Now to adjust the spacing a little bit, some more. Okay, I like the way it looks now. And then I want to adjust the way it looks, make it bigger. So I like the way it's looking now. And for this, I want to keep the font as Canva Sans. This is because this is a handwriting font. I don't want to mix it up with another handwriting font to avoid confusion. But instead of it looking like this, I want to make it italics so it looks better. And then I'm going to center align it. And then we go to the colors. So for example, this lady, her colors are blue and brown, so that's her brand color. So how do we represent this? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be picking from the image. Since this is a hypothetical brand, it's not a real brand, so if it was a real brand, there will be colors on ground, there will be font choice on ground, everything will be on ground. But because there isn't, we would be going the other route. So I'm going to click on the background now, and I'm going to be picking this particular brown for the background. And for this, I'm going to be changing the colors to white because black is not readable here. So changing it to white, I'm going to say change all, so it changes all at once and I don't have to manually do it. So the next thing I want to do is to add an effect, a text effect to this particular text, and I want to go with the outline. I want the thickness to be very much, and choosing a color, I'm going to be choosing something related to the image. So here I'm going to go over to the colors and I'm just going to scroll to see what fits. I want the brown, but I want a lighter shade of the brown, not too light so it's not looking weird. So something like this works, and I want to increase it a little bit just for it to become more noticeable. So the reason I started writing again, the real truth should be a little bit smaller. And then for a handle, I want to make it small as well, just like this. So now we want to add effects to the image as well, and for this we're going to come to edit. Under edit, we want to scroll to shadows, as we know, and under shadows we want to choose outline. So we want to scroll down, increase the size of the outline and change it to white, just like this. So I'm going to reduce the size just like this. Yes. So now that I have that, I want to increase the image, so I just cropped it a little bit, and I think this is better. So I just center aligned it to make sure it's in the center. I also want to make sure this is in the center as well. So now that we have that and it's all coming together, I usually take extra effort to sharpen my image as well, just a little bit, just in case it's not sharp enough when I'm exporting. So under sharpness, I usually use 4 to make it more clear. So this is something you can always do for your images. It doesn't have to be too sharp, but you can always sharpen it even if you exported a sharp image initially. So that is what I do. And then for the last part, so we see that it's coming together beautifully. The last part, I'm going to go over to the element, and what I want to choose is this particular shape. So I'm going to bring in it to her back. And how can I do this? I want to layer, so I want to say move, send to back, and it sends to her back directly. Then I'm going to increase it to make sure that it is proportional. If you notice, the blue and the blue are kind of contradicting, so we want to change the color of the blue. So I'll move this up a little bit, come down here and change the color to this, and then move it back down. Then I want to make sure it's in the center. So always, if you're using center alignment, always make sure it's in the center before exporting. Double check, cross check if you have to. So as you can see, this is just an inspiration on how you can tell your story on social media using this particular method of designing carousels. And for this, it's the same way, just a different font and a black and white photo. Now for this post, how was it created? She started with a blank canvas just like this. So let's say this is the next post after the one we created. So what you can do is come to elements and type in frame. Yeah, just pick frame. And under the frame, you want to check for a phone frame. Yeah, something like this. And once you bring it in, you can align it to the center. You can duplicate it using the Alt on your keyboard, or just click on it, right click, and you have the option to duplicate here. So that's how I did that. And then you can go ahead and place images inside, or whatever it is you want to talk about. So something like this, you can just place it inside and it goes inside. Whatever it is, either it's a screenshot from your phone, whatever it is at all, this is how you place it right in Canva. And then we're going to be moving on to how to achieve something like this in Canva. For something like this, there's a hidden rule, which is you always start with a black background. So we're going to be doing it together. So I'm going to be adding a page, and instead of white or any other color, I'm going to be using black. So for that kind of design where it feels like there is opacity and it's looking a certain way, not a solid color like this, you want to start with a black background. Please always remember this. Then, since this is hypothetical, I'm just going to pick something at random. So let's say a beach. And I'm picking a random image here to illustrate what I'm saying. I'll increase it to fit what I want, like this. And then I'll go ahead and I'll go to transparency. If you're using your mobile phone, you scroll horizontally till you see transparency. Click on it and you're able to reduce the opacity just like this, but not too much that it loses its essence. So this is considered too much. So you want to leave it at maybe 60 or 70 to achieve this kind of design. And then you'll be bringing your text in. So let's say an amazing day with the love of my life, something like that. This is just hypothetical. And then we want to make sure it's not bold. So for things like this, you want to make sure that you're not using it in bold. But if you want to, you can always do that. So bring it to the center or wherever you want to arrange it. Then I would always adjust the line spacing. I don't know, I just love arranging the line spacing a little bit, not too much, till it feels just right. Okay. Then I'm bringing it to the center again. So whatever I do, I always make sure that I check using this guide that Canva has provided to make sure that I'm still on track. And for the fonts, I'm going to be leaving it just like this. So how was this actually achieved in Canva? How do you do this for your own design? So you want to get an image. Let's say I'm going to be using, so what can we find at the beach? A coconut drink. Yeah, something like this. So let's say they had coconuts while they were at the beach. So I'm going to be picking one coconut that illustrates what I mean. So I'm going to bring this in. And for this, you can remove the background. So let's say like this is what we have. And then we want to add outline to this. So come under shadows and add an outline of white. Scroll down, increase the size of the outline. And change it to white. Something like this. So we have our first image. We're bringing in one more image. We'll be bringing in this. I don't know what it is, but I'll be bringing it in. So yes, for this, I'm going to be using the magic grab instead of the BG remover, because there are sometimes that you want to grab a particular part of the image. Let's say you want to grab it with your hand. So I'll be showing us how to do that. So click on edit and scroll to magic grab. So it has selected this and we'll grab it. So now, as you can see, it has been detached from the image and we can delete this. So let's say we want to place this here, reduce the size like this. So it's like a scrapbook. You can put anything anywhere, but make sure that it is aligned properly. So to ensure that this and this have the same stroke size, you can always check to see what stroke size used and use it across the entire platform or the entire image you're designing. So go here and I'll add the shadow. I want to reduce the size a little and then come here. So I can see that you can see it's not the same size. So let's see what we have here. So we have 28 here. We have 21 here. So we can come and type in 28. And now it has been adjusted to the same size. Let's go back to our reference image. For our reference image, we see that she used a particular type of font and she put things so it wasn't showing entirely. To achieve this, you can come here and shift this. Come here, put this here, something that just to make sure that it's not popping up on the screen. Add as many images as you want here. I'm not going to be doing that because of the length of this video. I don't want it to be too long, so it's not discouraging to watch. So now for the last part, how can we achieve this? Now if you look at this is an image placed on an image, and if you're not careful you wouldn't get it. So I'm going to be showing you how we can do that. So I'm going to be bringing this up, moving it up. I'll reduce the size and I'll be bringing in a frame, because a frame is where we put images. And I'll be picking this. Bring it below. You can expand the size of the frame here. Anywhere you see something like this, it means that it's adjustable. You can take note of that. Now that we have that, we're bringing in a beach picture. Alright, so now that we have that, how do we bring an image here? So for people new to Canva, you might not understand what I'm saying, but I'm going to illustrate. A beautiful African woman at the beach, smiling. So I'll be going with this, and if I'm to bring it in, as you can see, it has replaced that image we had, and that's not what we want. So to avoid that happening, I'll delete this now. So to avoid this happening, I'll click on the image, right click, and lock. So as you can see, I've locked this. Now it might not be easy to find the lock on your phone. So you want to scroll horizontally till you see 3 dots, click on it, and then when you view the more options, you see lock. Please do not lock the page. If you lock the page, you will not be able to edit. This is where you lock the page. And if you want to lock a particular element, you click on that element, right click, and then you can lock it. So please do not make that mistake, or you'll not be able to edit your design. So I'm going to be bringing in the lady now. I'll be removing the background and bringing it here inside, like this. So from the reference image, we know that there was outline, so we'll be adding outline. You can come here and change it to white like we do our usual custom. Increase it. Maybe we want to increase the intensity this time around. So there you have it, and this is how you make this kind of Instagram post in Canva. But one thing to keep in mind is your layout has to make sense. So whenever you're about to export, make sure your image is clear. If it's not, you can go to sharpen it manually, just like I've shown you. Make sure it is center aligned for everything. If you're making use of center alignment, if you're making use of another layout, ensure that it is visually appealing, right? So the resources for this particular lesson will be dropped in the description to help you learn as you do yours. So thank you so much for staying to the end of this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson.